Today, I want to give you a very practical tool. People get decision fatigue. They get emotional overload. They get emotional overwhelm when they have tons of choices in front of them and they get completely overloaded. And you know what? I'm going to give you a 2-minute hack for that today.
The Voices of Victory podcast show.
Voices of Victory.
Vision.
Voices of Victory.
Leadership.
Voices of Victory.
Workplace-related topics.
The Voices of Victory.
Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory.
It's time for the show. You are now listening to the Voices of Victory podcast show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mario D. Leone.
Hello and welcome to the Voices of Victory podcast show. I am your host, Mario D. Leone. Today is the day that if you feel overwhelmed, mentally overloaded, decision fatigue, if you're that person that just gets hit with too many options and you're completely overwhelmed, I'm going to give you a concrete practical tool, a life hack that works. It absolutely works. It's functional, it's real, and you just got to be able to do it. That's the bottom line. So the 2-minute rule is what we're going to discuss because this is all about conquering decision overload. So ask the question first, what problems are we actually trying to solve? Well, when people are stuck, overwhelmed, and of course feeling unproductive, when there's too much time deciding on small bullshit tasks, when there's tons of procrastination, when there's tons of anxiety, and there's a lot of mental drain and wasted mental energy, if you fall into any of those categories, this episode is fucking for you. So that's what it's for. Let's talk about the rule up close and personal. So here's the rule. First of all, you got 2 minutes. And the way it works is if a task literally can be done in 2 minutes, do it immediately. Stop trying to estimate. Do it immediately. If you know for a fact, you have an absolute fact, not some psychological future bullshit projection, but if you know for an absolute certain fact that it can be accomplished in 2 minutes, do it immediately. Do it immediately. If it happens to be greater than 2 minutes, then schedule it or break down those tasks into 2-minute increments. Okay, you'll do 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. It doesn't have to be done all in one shot. That's the rule. Now, why does this actually work? This straight up motherfucking works. It works because I know people that have done it, I've done it, and I know it functionally works. Number one, it works because you're eliminating the mental clutter, all of that mental noise, that mental chatter. You start to do and deal with the unfinished small tasks. What this does is build momentum with small wins, tiny wins. And that's what it's all about. It reduces procrastination because if you know you can do it in 2 minutes, you'll be able to do it in 2 minutes. If it's greater than 2 minutes, you could schedule it and chunk those several tasks into 2-minute blasts. I like to call them blasts, a 2-minute blast, if you will. I learned this from a famous public speaker back in the 90s. He used the term blitzing. Blitzing was the concept that when you say the word blitz, you would do as much as you could in that span of time. You would blitz for 2 minutes and just do everything you possibly could in 2 minutes. That's one way to do it. So I like to say blasting, where you're literally blasting through whatever tasks within a 2-minute period. That's the beauty of it. When you use the word, it acts as a trigger. You could call it blitzing or blasting, doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, you could fucking call it chili con carne. As long as you're getting shit done, that's what really matters. But it builds that momentum. It reduces that procrastination. And of course, it also reduces that decision overload, that mental clutter, that mental stress. That's why it works. Now, with some practical examples of this, like what are some practical examples? Well, if you have inbox overload, right? If you have inbox overload, you could easily do a short email response to one person. Not a problem, okay? Not a problem at all. You can literally do that and everything will be absolutely A-okay, right? That's one practical example. Another thing is if you have to do the dishes and you literally feel like the dishes are going to take 45 minutes, then just choose 3 plates, right? Now, granted, cleanliness is a thing and it is important. So yes, it's something you're going to want to do. But if you're one of those people that have difficulty deciding with dishes because you get mental overload, then you may want to just do 2 or 3 plates. Do what you can do within the 2-minute time. Very important. Now, if you're a person that, let's say, is trying to increase habits for good health, take 2 minutes to drink some water. Take 2 minutes to do some push-ups and blast out as many push-ups as you can in that span of time, in that 2-minute period. Those are just practical examples. Now, there's a nice layer of this is that we talk about frameworks on this channel, and a framework that has productivity baked in is really good, because if it's a 2-minute task, you should be able to handle it immediately. Okay? It's very important. And you could also batch your tasks into grouped 2-minute increments. So you can literally group similar tasks for 2-minute efficiency, right? You can do them nice and efficient. You can break up all of those things into 2-minute batches, and that's to avoid the burnout and avoid the decision fatigue, avoid the mental overwhelm. I see people all the time and they're like, they get so hooked up into control, like, oh, I have to control how this is done. Listen, it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, do everything and do what you can in 2 minutes and let go of the control. The control is what's irritating you. The control is making it worse. In life, I got news for you. You're not going to be able to control everything. I got a big fucking sore pill for you. You're not going to be able to control everything. You can control what you can, what's in your control, out of your control, and what you could influence. That's the reality. So you got to be able to schedule rest and avoid burnout, avoid decision fatigue, 2-minute blasts, 2-minute blitz, right? I call it blitzing. So that being said, there's many different ways to go about it. But you want to take a look at what can be done concretely. You want to be concrete as to what can you do in 2 minutes. If you have a messy desk, what can you transform in 2 minutes? And set the timer. When the timer stops, you stop, whether you're finished or not. If you get more motivation, more momentum, set the timer again. The fuck? It's fucking simple. Just reset the timer and just go again. It's okay. Do another 2 minutes. Not a big deal. And what you'll start to do is just that. You'll gain momentum. And you'll say, you know what? I can do more. I can do more, right? And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised if you had a day off from work and you did 2 minutes of push-ups in the morning, 2 minutes in the afternoon, and then another 2 minutes in the evening. What that would do to your body, you'd be surprised. Absolutely surprised. That's what it's all about. Now, I want to take a hard look at some of the questions that we can really go over. So what's the primary problem? We're going to go over some Q&A. What's the primary problem that the 2-minute rule is designed to solve? Okay. And the answer is the 2-minute rule, it solves the problem of decision overload. This is where you might feel stuck or unproductive because you're spending too much time trying to decide or delineate what to do, even for small tasks. And you know what? You're snowballing your procrastination. You're creating the snowball of procrastination, the wasted mental energy. It becomes an energy drain. So the next question is, according to the rule, what should you do if the task is estimated to take 2 minutes or less? Well, if it's estimated to take 2 minutes or less, then guess what? You should do it immediately, because this prevents those small tasks from accumulating, becoming the snowball, the procrastination snowball, and contribute to your mental clutter. Got it? When you literally provide a concrete direction for your energy within 2 minutes, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. So like with the inbox example, responding to short emails quickly. You're not dealing with the email that's 45 fucking minutes long. You're dealing with that one-liner that someone sent, and maybe you'll find 10 one-liners and go from there. Or maybe 3 lines or 4 lines, whatever. You're going to have to decide the cutoff for that. That's up to you. But why is it building momentum through small wins? Why is it considered a benefit of using this rule? Because here's why. Building momentum through those small wins, you have to create a sense of accomplishment, and you have to be able to feel that progress. You have to get that progress with completed tasks. So this creates a positive feedback loop. So it's going to encourage you to go longer than 2 minutes or schedule it. And what happens is what you do becomes more manageable, and it has action actionable legs, if you will, right? It's more actionable. And you can start to batch your tasks into 2 fucking minutes. So that's what I want to share with you today. Now, what are the negative outcomes that the 2-minute rule can reduce? Well, it reduces procrastination. It also reduces your mental stress. Too many choices. And that's where you can provide some immediate action within 2 minutes. And this gets rid of the big fat cognitive burden that you might be experiencing. So you see, this works. I'll tell you, it absolutely works. You could wind up getting momentum after 2 minutes, and then you want to do more dishes. So you could always just set the timer for another 2 minutes. It's really simple. So I use the Pomodoro technique. So the Pomodoro technique, it does the same exact thing, except in a different way. Some people do longer than 2 minutes. So the Pomodoro, for those of you that has ever been to an Italian restaurant, you know my name, Mario Di Leone. It doesn't get more Italian than that, all right? And the Pomodoro is tomato for those of you who speak the language, okay? The Pomodoro means tomato. And the reason why it means tomato is because in Italy, we had in our family, this tiny red tomato that acts as an egg timer. So it's a tomato, you would twist it, and it would tick, 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 tick. And when the bell goes off, something would be ready, for you to take care of in the kitchen, okay? But it's a time management technique, and it's incredible for productivity. And you can do 2-minute blasts of the Pomodoro, and there's Pomodoro apps you can actually download. So what this is going to do is improve your focus. It's going to reduce a lot of that mental fatigue. That's the whole point of it. And it can be followed by a brief break. Okay, it's not a problem. So these intervals were called a Pomodoro. Oh, it's one Pomodoro. Well, that's a 1-2-minute blitz, basically, in a nutshell. You pick the task you want to work on. You set the timer for 2-minute intervals, right? Do 2 minutes. You work on that task exclusively. Block the world out. Block your phone out. Block your notification. Block the phone calls. Block people from knocking on the fucking door. You have to be able to maintain your focus. And that's another thing. The Pomodoro method, it trains your focus. If you discipline yourself to say, I will never be distracted in this 2 minutes. I will maintain focus 100% of the time while this timer is going off. It will train your brain to latch on and become a seek and destroy missile of productivity. You'll be able to seek out a task and just completely destroy it and get right through it easily, beautifully, and feel good about yourself. So you work on that task until the timer goes ding. You have to avoid all distraction. You are training yourself that you are distraction free during that period of time. All right. And that's the thing. We're constantly getting derailed. We get derailed by this notification, that notification, that. And every time you get derailed, a new neural pathway is being created, which is training you to derail your attention span. Your attention span will become shitty and start to get derailed more and more and more and more. Why? Because you're getting hit from the left, you're getting hit from the right. Every time you switch your focus to one area, something comes up. You switch your focus again, something comes up again, and you're being constantly derailed, and new neural pathways are being created. Now, the history of the Pomodoro is Francesco Cirillo. He was an Italian entrepreneur back in the 1980s. Real simple. So he was a college student. He struggled with productivity, just like college students do today. Not any different, right? This is 1980s. We didn't really have smartphones back then. But he used a kitchen timer to shape his attention and shape his productivity into managed intervals. That's what it's all about. And he used to track his completed Pomodoros. And that's another thing you can do. At the end of your day, you can say, how many 2-minute blitzes have I done? How many of those Pomodoros have I done? So it's used in Italy and globally now. It's used as a productivity hack for some students. So it grew popularity in the workplace. It grew popularity in universities. It also grew popularity with creative people that, you go play an instrument for 2 minutes. And that's the beauty of it. It started to work well with remote workers, with programmers, writers, anyone who needed to overcome distraction. I'm a screenwriter. I'll be damned if I was going to let a single fucking thing distract me. I will be like a laser beam fucking focus. And that's me, right? I meditate a lot. I do breath work a lot. These things contribute to the attention span. They do. Not going to lie. But there's no way in hell. That's how much of a conviction I had. I was never going to let anything disturb me. My writing writing schedule was 5 a.m. for 15 minutes every day, 5 days a week. Weekends were off. That was my writing schedule. And I began to do a lot of screenwriting as a result. And I sold the script and I started doing short films and so on. And I was improving my writing skill because I was practicing the art of writing for 15 minutes at 5 a.m. That was just me. So the benefits of the Pomodoro is to reduce your mental fatigue, to boost your focus, to give you measurable progress when you've completed several 2-minute intervals or several Pomodoros. And it's supposed to take away that procrastination. So the tomato-shaped timer wasn't just a quirky choice. It became a metaphor for the technique. Just like a tomato ripens in its own time, what you're doing in that task will ripen as well. Your focus and productivity will also ripe. And you'll have well-timed bursts or blitzing, if you will. And that's all I'm going to say on this show. Feel free to like, subscribe, and buy me a coffee. You can do that by clicking right in the description of most of my videos, and you'll see the Buy Me a Coffee link. All right. Have a great day. See you on the next episode. And get yourself a Pomodoro timer. You can get them on Amazon or whatever online platform you wish to use. Have a great day. Take care.